3 weeks before our wedding, I came home late from work. She was sitting at the kitchen table, the lamp casting a warm light over the room. At first, I thought she was going over our guest list. We'd been talking about seating arrangements for days. But then I saw it. She was holding a printed email, gripping the paper tightly, like she didn't want to let it go. "What's that?" I asked. She didn't answer right away. She just looked at me for a long moment, her eyes unreadable, then slid the paper across the table. It was an email I had written to my best friend 2 years earlier, the night after our very first date. I told him she was amazing, beautiful, interesting, but also wrote, "I don't see myself marrying her." I remembered typing it. Back then, I barely knew her. It wasn't meant to be cruel. It was just how I felt at that moment. And then, I forgot all about it. I tried to speak. That was years ago, but she cut me off. "I can't marry someone who already decided how the story ends." Her voice wasn't angry. It was calm, final. She stood up, walked past me, and went to the bedroom. 15 minutes later, she came out with a small suitcase. No yelling, no tears, just the sound of the door closing behind her. For weeks after that night, I texted her. At first, long messages, trying to explain, apologizing, telling her it didn't mean anything anymore. Then the messages became shorter. "Can we talk? Are you okay?" No reply. A month later, I got a letter in the mail. A real one. Paper, envelope, no return address. Her handwriting was instantly familiar. She wrote, "I found your old email, but that's not why I left. It just reminded me that from the very beginning, you didn't see us as forever. I want you to be with someone who never doubts you. And I have been doubting myself for a long time." At the bottom, there was one more line. "And by the way, he was always there." I read that line over and over. Did she mean my best friend? Someone else? I had no idea, and I never saw her again. Nearly a year passed before I found out. One evening, I stopped by a bar near the office. Behind the counter was Max, my colleague from when we both started at the company. We weren't close friends, but we'd had lunch together often. He poured me a drink, then hesitated. "There's something I should tell you," he said. I told him to go ahead. He looked down for a moment, then met my eyes. "We started talking long before you two got engaged. At first, it was just messages. Then she'd come over when you had to stay late at work. She told me that with you, she felt safe, but with me, she felt alive. I'm not making excuses, but I was the one who was always there." I didn't interrupt. I just let him talk. He described places they'd been together, conversations they'd had, things I never knew. When he finished, I took a slow sip of my drink. All this time, I'd been focused on the betrayal. But maybe she'd just been looking for something I could never give. I thanked him for his honesty and left without looking back. The letter is still in my desk drawer. Sometimes I think about burning it. But then I remember it's the only proof that the end of our story didn't start the day she read that email. It started the day I wrote it.